welcome back to another week. It is the beginning of week 5, and this past week was kind of crazy with regard to the weather. We had a lot of incredible winds and heavy rains, so I actually spent a lot of time inside. So this should be a quick one. I'll go ahead and take you around and show you what I did get done. And inside, I did a lot of I made sourdough, I cleaned out the fridge, and took a bunch of concoctions and made plum sauce and a rhubarb jam. I froze my ginger so that I can start making ginger wine. But out in the garden, not much happened, but I'll go ahead and take you around and show you what did. So out in the garden, it's about sunset, and it's pretty much all the same as last week. Nothing's really happened. I haven't even gotten around to fixing the gate there, but I will quickly loop around back here because up by my bench, I have actually planted some things. So you can barely see it, but if I kind of zoom in, you might be able to see the tiny little stick right there. That's a gooseberry. And then on the other side over there, again, let's see, you can barely see it, but it's right kind of there is another gooseberry. So I did get around to getting out here and planting the 2 gooseberries. So that's kind of nice. The girls are checking us out, wondering if we got any food. Again, nothing much has been happening out here, but let's take you into the orchard and show you over there. So along the orchard, I know it doesn't look like much has happened, but I will say that each and every one of these trees was actually somewhat dug up so that I could plant bulbs. And these last ones down here were actually dug up twice because in addition to planting daffodil bulbs around the base, I also planted the super stinky bulbs. I'll go ahead and put their name up on the screen, but I planted stinky bulbs there and along these others. So these are my three apple trees. This is a pear tree, and that is a pear tree. And apparently apples and pears are the favorites for voles. So I did plant daffodils around all of these trees, but around this one to those ones down there, I also planted the stinky bulbs. So you can't see them, and the stinky bulbs were kind of weird because they have like a hole in them. So you actually have to plant them on the side, and they don't like my clay soil, so they might end up dying, but we'll see. Around the north side, I still haven't cleaned up this stuff. Around the north side, I did also get around to fixing some things here. So I have in this one, I put my muguet. I'll put the English name when I figure it out. The muguet went lily of the valley. Lily of the valley went there. And then in here I have basically wild garlic. So if those work out, that's cool. I had previously planted cilantro in here, which went to seed. So these 2 things have lots of cilantro. And then I will take you into the back here, and I actually I really have a path. I know it doesn't look like much in here, but and these plants don't live in here all the time. They're just here for the the winter. But in the carport here, I did manage to I got a bunch of stuff cleared out here. I have problems with my winter squash split because of the rains here, and I haven't processed them yet, so I am losing some of those. But yeah, I cleaned up over here, and then in here, if I turn on the light, doesn't really help much. But I do actually have a space to walk through, and I haven't been doing my seed starting yet, so I am behind in that, but I'm going to catch up this week. And things to, oh, hold on. I also wanted to give you an update on the cars. So I think I mentioned last week that both of my cars were dead. The reason why I have two is that this one is a semi-automatic, and I'm from the United States where we pretty much only drive automatics. So when I arrived here, there was no way in hell I was going to drive a manual. So I got a semi-automatic. And then my driver's license doesn't convert to French. So I had to actually go through the whole process of like going to driving school and taking the exam and spending thousands, like literally thousands of dollars, thousands of euros to get my driver's license here. And I failed my first exam because I just wasn't like, I'm comfortable driving. I've been driving for like almost 30 years now, but it's like, I just wasn't comfortable driving a manual. So I bought a manual. So that's a manual. And I'm going to be keeping that one. And in the meantime, we're trying to figure out like what to do with the other one. Thankfully, despite the fact that they both died, the blue one, I was able to drive and get it charged up, and it's restarting just fine. And the red one, I drove it for an hour, and the next day it still didn't start. So that was kind of a pain, but it is what it is. And something will be happening to the red one. I'm keeping the blue one. Other things that happened this week was I had my regular like diabetic appointments with my diabetologist and my nurse. Those went well. I'm super well managed, so that's all awesome. And I finished all of my immigration stuff. I had a resident card that was good for 2 years, which I need to renew now this week. So I got my pictures, I sent in my thing, and I found out that I might get awarded a 4-year card, but we'll see. I'll be happy if they give me another 2-year card. But yeah, this week ended up being a lot of like cars and paperwork and not so much happening out in the garden because of the weather. But I will leave you with the orchard. Next week, I'm planning on catching up with the seedlings. I want to clean up around the garden, and there's just like the regular normal stuff that I need to do. Eventually, I want to actually remulch this whole area. Now that the bulbs are all in, I can probably do that. Up around the corner, I have that flower patch that I need to add compost to so that I can get my peonies into the ground. But we'll see. I will leave you with Mr. B running away, sniffing the hydrangea. I mean, unfortunately, the weather, we're taking a pee. The weather hasn't been particularly great. And this next week isn't looking very much better. So we're pretty much into our kind of spring slum, I guess. It's just kind of, it's gray and miserable, and I don't like to garden out in the rain, even if it's just sprinkling, but I probably will kind of suck it up and do that. Anyway, I hope you had a good one. I will see you next week. Bye.